you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Serene Madness. I have a cool video to show you to do today. I've been tagged on your most sentimental knife. Now I want to clarify something. There was a video that went out, a tag that went out a while back, a couple months ago. What was the knife that started it all? Which is the knives that started it all. In my opinion, the knives that started it all and your most sentimental knife, they kind of go hand in hand, but they're separate. So I am going to do two separate videos on that. Which, by the way, I have all these boxes in front of me. Here's box. This box right here contains my vintage knives from the 70s and 80s. And I will reveal that soon for a different video. This box has a case, has my tactical folders in it. This box or case has my EDC knives, my EDC folders, currently my current EDC folders in it. But there is a special box. A special box. And the box itself is even special. We put those there. Well, I like the shirt, by the way. This was a new one that my wife got me. I'll let you see if you can read it. It's pretty cool. I have a lot of these shirts like this because people ask me about my shirts all the time. Here it is. Old wooden box. Look at that. Hinges and everything. And it talks saying, "Oh, open me. What's in this box?" But I'm not going to show you what's in this box because it's for another video. This box, and I've mentioned it to a couple people. Knife and Forge asked me about it, and Viking Soul asked me about it, and Jester 9 0. I'm just gonna call you Jester. I'm awful with numbers, so Jester asked me about the first knives that started it all. And this, my friends, is the first one's box. And these are the ones that started it all for me. They're actually not all in here. I have a couple that are elsewhere that I need to find. But there are currently 3 knives in here. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I miscounted. There were 4 knives in there. My earlier knives. These are the knives that I had in the 70s as a kid. But the most sentimental knives. And coincidentally, these 3 knives, or these 3 knife-like items, all coincide with one another. And I will show you them in order. This knife, right here, it's got an eagle on it, and a gold American flag right there. Make sure the camera's gonna get it. What side does it go on? My eyes are bad. Okay, eagle and American flag. It's got a gold little handle thingy, little insert with an eagle on it. And it's just got a basic folding knife. This knife was given to me by my dad. My daddy. My father. And incidentally, my dad's birthday, surprisingly, D-Man's, he did his Valentine's video today. I watched it. Incidentally, his mother's birthday is today. So happy birthday, Mrs. D-Man. D-Man's mom. Happy birthday, D-Man's mom. And my dad's birthday is the 13th, which is the day for hers, which is yesterday. and he just turned 87. So he's cool. He lives in Florida. He's down there doing his thing. So this knife is pretty sentimental to me. My dad gave me this knife. So this knife never gets used. I'm actually going to do a wall display with this knife and these other two objects that I'm about to show you. So that's that. Second knife. It's not really a knife. Let me pull back because this is big. It's this. Hope you can get it. Yeah, it's pretty big. This thing could probably chop down a friggin' tree. A good sized tree, by the way. And actually, it still has a little bit of an edge on it. This is pretty old. This has got to be 75 years old, maybe? Something like that. This is my grandmother's meat cleaver. My grandmother, which is my dad's mother. So they kind of coincides with that knife. Interesting story about this. She used this, and she used it all the time. I had alleviated it from my dad's house when he moved to Florida. I didn't want this to get lost, so I kind of took it because I wanted it. Because I thought it was badass, first of all, but when I found out that the story behind it that he told me, I had to have it. So this is eventually going to go on the wall as a display with that knife and what I'm about to show you next. But this little guy or big guy right here is Batman Pajama. It's all original. I wish it had some kind of maker's mark on it, but it doesn't. I would estimate that it's got to be at least 75 years old. I grew up in a small town out of Boston, and old Victorian house. It was ginormous. It had like something like 14 rooms. It was 3 floors, and it had a basement, and it was huge. So I had a big family. At one point, there was so many damn people coming and going from my house. It was ridiculous. Something like 8 bedrooms in the house, something like that. Had 2 kitchens, had 8 bedrooms, had 4 bathrooms, full basement. It had a sewing room in it. My mother had a candy room. She used to make candy. It had a friggin' piano room. We had a piano room with a piano in it. Pantry, walk-in pantry. One of the coolest things that we had in the house, and I didn't know what the hell it was, in the basement of our house that I grew up in, it had this funky old concrete floor. Flat, funky old concrete floor. It made no sense to me why that was there. It was just weird. It's like stone mixed in with concrete. It was kind of weird looking. And then in one corner, a section of this basement, right near the stairs, was this little friggin' corral thing. It looked like a pen. Like something that should be in a friggin' barn, like a barn stall. And it was weird. And I go, one day I said to my father, I go, what is that? What purpose is that? What is it? And he told me it was a slaughter pen. And back during the turn of the last century, the 1900s, because we had the house in our family for 50 to 75 years or something along that line. And there was no butcher. There was no guy wrapping up stuff with cellophane and styrofoam. You went down to the stockyards and you bought your own animals and you slaughtered them yourself. So we had a slaughtering pen in our basement. So my grandmother used it all the time. They used to go down the stockyards. They used to pick out their own animals. She used to dispatch them and chuck them in the pen and then do her thing. And she used this to do it with. The chickens, turkeys, pigs, lambs, goats, all in the basement. Butchered them right there. I had a little section for butchery, you know, and it was really cool and kind of gruesome. So, yeah, my grandmother was kind of a badass. So she's passed away a long time ago. I never met her because she passed away, I believe, shortly before I was born. So I'm 45 now, so close to 50 years ago. So she's been passed away for quite some time. Third item, which goes hand in hand with these other two items, and I have a little backstory to this. The other day, I saw a knife maker on YouTube, and I'm not going to say who it was, but he was kind of bitching and complaining about saying that he was kind of like the innovator of the friction folder, and people were ripping him off and stuff, and I'm going, no. You're not the. You may have interesting designs, and he is cool, and he's got some cool designs, but you know, he was bitching on about the innovator of the friction folder. Incidentally, the friction folder was created many years ago, and it didn't start off as a knife. It started off as one of these, the original friction folder, the straight razor, and here it is. This bad boy, is my grandfather's straight razor. Ivory handle. It was made in, where was it made? It was made in Brockton, Mass. Christensen and Company. Handmade razors. It doesn't have a year in it though, which kind of sucks. Hollow ground, handmade, fully warranted straight razors. Here's the original case. It's got some leather. It's leather bound on the outside of it. Cardboard in the middle. Wood actually. No, that's wood actually. Wow, that's some kind of funky. It's gold, and it's badass. It's pretty cool. It's really freaking sharp, believe it or not. So, cool story behind this. I'll be as quick as I can. Okay. So, quick story behind this. My grandfather. My family comes from East Boston. So, my grandfather, when he immigrated to the United States, he was a leather man. He was a leather maker. He made belts. He made all leather goods, but he specialized in handmade Italian shoes, which, as we all know nowadays, handmade Italian leather shoes go for thousands of dollars. And so he used to do that. You know, back in that day, people had their shoes made. Everything was made for you. You didn't have throwaway stuff like we do today. And shoe repair and cobblers were a necessity back then. So that's what he did. But interestingly enough, in his shop, he had, besides making shoes, he had two chairs in his store that if you came in and you bought something, shoes off of him, handmade shoes, he would, on the point of purchasing the shoes, he would sit you down in a chair, and he would give you a shoe polish, shine your shoes, the ones you had on you, and professionally with the whole brushing, all that crap, and the thing, and the brushing, and the polishing, all that. And he'd do all that stuff that you see in the movies. And then after that, he would give you a shave. So this is what he used. That's where that comes from. This is actually one of the razors that he used. And he had one of those old leather straps attached to the seat, so it's kind of like pot barber chair, pot shoe shine chair. It was pretty cool. It's like this little extra service that he would do for his customers, and then that was that. So he was a cool dude, and I never got to meet him because he passed away many years ago. I think he even passed away before. Yeah, he actually passed away before my parents got married, which was in 1954. So he died around, I think he died young. I think he was in his 40s when he died. And yeah, so I think he died in the early 40s, late 40s, early 50s. So those are my three most sentimental blades. My grandfather's straight razor, my grandmother's meat cleaver, and the knife my dad gave me, his folding knife. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the story. Hope it wasn't too long. Find your serenity in a mad world. I'll catch you later.